Welcome back to another edition of Realities May Vary, the podcast that goes nowhere, does nothing, and yet somehow is very entertaining. I'm Brian Noonan. That's Cody Gough. Right off the bat, you are in a different sort of locale. Things look different. Plus, you're wearing all black in a darkened room. You're very mysterious. What's going on?
Yeah, the lighting in my living room is awful for video.
Right.
I've known this for years. There's nowhere to sit with any small degree of light. No, my podcast studio looks like, in the movies when like someone comes home and like someone has robbed them and they've just upended everything.
Yes.
That's that, except that it wasn't a person, it was a combination of me and my son, who ran rampant. But I had a change in computer systems, and retired the MacBook Pro that I was using for production before,
Okay.
and now I have a new computer setup. But what I had failed to realize is that all of my adapters and hubs were basically specifically compatible with that computer and not the ones I now have.
Did you need
So
a dongle?
I need a dongle. I probably need a dongle. I need something like that. I don't know. But the other thing is, I have these like backdrop stands. I have some like video equipment now
Oh.
that I want to use to my red backdrop that I've had.
I love that red backdrop. Makes me feel like I'm in a bordello.
Yeah, thank you. No, me too. Turns out that it was like balancing on old furniture that I had like shoved in that closet. It was just like very trashy and I could barely stand it.
Uh,
So I got some new stuff and I started setting it up and I did not finish setting it up. So
Okay.
there's boxes and bags in my room and just papers and disheveled. I mean, there's like, it's bad. It's bad. I can't even go in there. So I was like doing construction today, and then
Nice.
I literally realized like this morning, I was like, I can't use my office right now. So so I was texting you and a friend, and I was like watching my kid because my wife's out of town. So I've been solo dadding for a few days. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and with a
Solo
1-year-old,
daddy. Solo
yeah,
daddy.
yeah,
Hey.
and even with the nanny, I mean, with a 1-year-old, like the second you wake up, you're watching him, then
No,
the
yeah.
nanny takes over for a while, or nap time's in there, and then when the nanny leaves, it's like, oh, you got like 6 uninterrupted hours of or 4 of parenting,
Right.
um, and you can't do anything. I can't do anything
No.
around him. Like
No, he needs your attention. He's running around. He's a bundle of energy. He's got stuff to say and do and to see.
he is. Yeah, his latest thing is pulling the chairs out from the kitchen table, crawling up on the chair, and then crawling up on the table, which is like 5 feet off the ground. He's about like half that height, so falling would be bad. So
Yes.
that's like his favorite thing to do now, other than unplug my entertainment center, which makes me have to reset all my wireless speakers.
It
So I had to block that off with
doesn't
some.
sound like your home is baby proof, and yet you've had a baby in it for a while.
There's
Sounds
literally
like
like
you've left a lot of hazards around.
there's literally like 2 hazards in the entire
And he's
house,
found them
and
both.
it's the only thing he wants to do is the hazard.
Sure, of course. He
Um,
knows.
it's
He's a daredevil. He wants to put his life at risk.
it's good. Yeah, it's good. It's good. So I
So is
don't
he
know.
asleep now?
He is passed out.
Or
Yeah,
is he always passed out? You gave him some booze?
yeah, a little bit of I have some Basil Hayden's.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Kids like a nice whiskey.
yeah.
They appreciate it. Hi to everybody who's jumping on. We're happy to see you. So now he's passed out. Well, this is late for him. This is not when toddlers don't stay up this late
Oh no.
unless
8
they
o'clock.
have some sort of illness.
No, 8 o'clock at the latest. No. Anyway, that was a long rambling way of saying my setup sucks right now, but it's temporary. I hope. We'll see what happens when we come back in 2 weeks. But I also have nothing to announce. I was gonna have big news.
Yeah, this was going to be big news day. That's why when you were wondering, you didn't know if you could do tonight.
Mhm.
And then I prodded you a little and you were gracious enough to say, all right, I'm going to try just the laptop deal. The reason I was prodding you is I was expecting this big announcement day. For the last 2 weeks, you've been teasing these huge announcements, like I have to bring up though one of the announcements that you kind of teased, and then you took to Twitter and were immediately lambasted by the Twitter trolls because you last week you gave a TED talk on NFTs, which everybody found fascinating, and by everybody I mean me and maybe a couple other people.
No, so Roger emailed me about that and I forgot to reply. He even tweeted at me. He's like, I emailed you. And I'm just like, I'm just not on top of my
You're just ignoring
Roger,
me.
if you're watching, I'm sorry. I will reply after this podcast because I have to do stuff after this anyway.
So you took to Twitter, as is your wont, and you threw out, this is, I think anytime you ask the opinion of the Twitterverse, you're in trouble. I would never ask Twitter. I wouldn't ask people on Twitter to put me out if I was on fire. But you said, hey, basically, and correct me if I'm wrong, you basically said, what would you people pay for an NFT that I created? Something like that, correct?
Yeah.
It was not met with a lot of, ooh, we can hardly wait. What will you charge us? What will it be? No, you were immediately met with just the most bitter vitriol. And I was laughing as I'm reading it. I'm like, oh man, don't read the comments, Cody. How many times have you told me that? Don't read the comments.
Oh yeah.
But then you double down and you attack the Twitterverse. So what's going on with you and Twitter, man? You're out of control. You called half of Twitter. You called one half of Twitter stupid and the other half idiotic, basically.
Well,
and I don't disagree, for the record.
Yeah. No. I don't know. NFTs, cryptocurrency, I am curious about those things and I want to learn more about them.
And you were going to create one. Your plan was you were toying with the idea.
Yeah, I mean it was surely hypothetical. So anyway, I'm curious about these things.
Yes, of course.
They exist. People invest in them. People put money in them. They grow people's money. They have some utility. They allow people to do certain things. And some people are really enjoying them, and there are communities popping up around them. And I think that's cool. The vast majority of people that aren't don't approach it with that, hate everything about it. Everyone involved with them, everything they stand for. And to me, it's just an example of a person failing at life. I think some people just aren't interested, right? And that's fine. Like you're not you're interested, but you're not like researching it, right? Like
right. No, I like to learn about it. I know it, but I'm not going to follow up on it. Right. But I like to know what's happening.
Yeah, but you're not going to buy any, but you're also not going to like scream at the top of your lungs angrily at the people that are like buying them, right?
I have way too much stuff to scream about already.
Exactly.
I don't have time to scream about this.
Exactly. So like, I think that people, people have a tendency to get really angry when they see other people succeeding in a way that they perceive as like unfair or a thing that they couldn't do. Or like a person cutting corners or cheating, or like, oh, this person did a bad thing. Why do they get to like walk away with all this money and whatever like that? And I think
I feel that way about like people who make unboxing videos and are making, or influencers who are making millions of dollars.
Right.
I just don't get it.
Right.
I'm not railing against them. I don't have time.
Right. So in those situations, sometimes you have two options. You can either sometimes you have the opportunity to actually do that thing yourself. Not always, but like sometimes. Like if somebody's making a bunch of money doing a thing and you're like, it's not fair they're doing that thing. Like, why are they doing that thing that shouldn't be able to make money off of it? Well, like you could do that, right?
Yeah, because they thought of it.
Yeah, sometimes, maybe not making a boxing video, but like sometimes. And like cryptocurrency and NFTs are that category. It's like if you do a lot of research, and like a lot of research, and you put a lot of time and energy into it, like you could make a huge amount of money investing in crypto and NFTs. Like you just could. And I think a lot of the people that like really hate on it, they see people making money on a thing that they're too lazy or stupid to actually investigate themselves.
Yeah.
And so what they do is they just get really mad that other people are successful because they're not good enough to do it. And that bothers me. Like, if you're watching this and you're not interested in NFTs or crypto, or you don't feel like, investing the time and energy, like, fine, good on you. It's a lot of time and energy. Like I spent hundreds of hours, and I'm not
Yes.
exaggerating.
No, you are not exaggerating. When crypto first started, it was nonstop.
Yeah, I was reading like
You
2 to
became
3
that
hours.
guy who
Yeah,
would
I was
not
reading
stop talking about crypto.
2 to 3 hours a day. I was reading on that stuff, right? NFTs, I gave that whole like primer or whatever. That was on like 20-ish hours of research, and I don't know what I'm doing still, right? Like I
Right.
still have at least 100 hours before I really understand what I'm doing, and then I might start to think about maybe investing. GameStop was the same way. Before I bought GameStop stock, I literally was reading for 4 to 6 hours a day for like 2 weeks before I was like, okay, I get it. I think this is going to be a thing. Then I bought some, and then it was a thing, and then I sold it at the right time, and then I made a bunch of money. That's because I took the time and energy. If people want to be like, oh, that's stupid, people made money on GameStop, that's stupid. Like, if you're mad about it, it's because you were too lazy or stupid to do the research yourself and make a bunch of money.
Or you had a friend that did a bunch of research and didn't, give you a heads up.
Right.
Thanks,
And
Cody.
I told some people, hey, I told some people.
You didn't tell me.
I told you a little bit.
No, you didn't at all.
I
just found out you bought GameStop and sold it for a bunch of money.
Oh, that's true. Well, it was.
Well, that's true. I didn't tell you. I didn't watch.
Well, it was insanely high risk and
Sure,
probably.
Right.
Anyway,
whatever.
What I'm saying is,
I'm not mad about it.
Yeah. Anyway, all I'm saying is, if you're sitting there and you hate people that invest in NFTs or cryptocurrency, I have no respect for you. If you don't care or you don't have an interest, that's fine. I think that's totally rational and reasonable. There's a lot of things on this God's green earth that you can spend your time and energy on, and that is great. But the haters, like, I like look down on them. Like, I do think I'm better than them as a person. They just think I'm better at life. I will be more successful. I'm more entrepreneurial. And
true.
those people, like, I don't think I'm better than a lot of people, but I think I'm better than people that sit around on Twitter and instead of researching NFTs and learning what they are, they search the NFT hashtag so they can reply to people's tweets and say, go die in a fire because you're making money.
I was shocked by the vitriol that was coming out of some of these people who I'm guessing you didn't know.
Didn't know
or had
any
never
of those
have
people.
any contact with.
No.
But so you went after the haters, which I enjoyed. I enjoyed that as well. It was fun. Now, Adam Carlin said he was able to help a couple people learn what an NFT was based on last week's program. See, I told you your TED Talk was fascinating.
Thank you. Yeah, Adam, and I also, Adam said, Cody, you just defined ignorance. Maybe I did, I guess. But thank you, Adam. That means a lot. And that's good. I'm glad I was able to give a tip of the iceberg. Because again, like I think, if you're, like I said, if you're uninterested in something, I think at most you should just be indifferent. But not like negative. I don't know. I talked about that guy Gary V a lot last week.
Yes, a lot. You talked about Gary V. Good Lord, him and his doodles,
dude,
his NFT doodles.
He's a cool guy. He's a good YouTuber. He's got some fun stuff. But he made a video a couple weeks ago. It was like a 5-minute video, and he's like, "Stop saying no, or stop saying stop gatekeeping and being like." The arbiter of like what people can like. He actually used the analogy. He was talking about NFTs. He was like, some people sit out there and they're like, boo boo on NFT. You're stupid if you do this. Some people call me stupid for collecting sports cards. Why can't it be and? Why can't everything cool be and? Like, oh, I like this and you like that, and that's cool. He was like, I invest in things. I invest in collectibles. I invest in NFTs. I invest in crypto. You know what I don't invest in? Real estate. I don't care about real estate. But you know what? A lot of people make a lot of money on real estate. That's fine. That's their thing. I just really don't care about real estate. So that's where I'm at. I'm like, whatever. Like, there's a lot of stuff people like that I think is whatever, but I shouldn't think it's stupid, right? Like, I think a lot of people like cars. People who are obsessed with cars. Brian, you know this. I barely know what color my car is.
I know. No, it's true.
I could not give two damns about what an engine, how much horsepower it is, or I don't care. But but people like cars, and like that's great. That's great. People like racing. I don't really watch
Like
racing. Watch
racing.
racing. That's fine. I don't care. Like I don't know. There's life's too short to just like police what other people like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you put it out there. So that wasn't an announcement. Have you decided what to do? Are you still weighing your options for the NFT, the Cody Gough NFT?
No,
Did you talk to
because
Gary Vee about it?
no. Here's the thing. The NFT gets its value from the story and from like
Right.
you want to be the first person. So I was like, what if I was the first Discovery host to mint an NFT? And then, in 10 years, somebody could be like, I've got the first NFT Discovery host ever released. So I was like, should I release one? And no one said yes. Someone would pay like 45 cents. So I was like, well, yeah, it's a weird flex, right? Who is going to say that? In 10 years, if somebody went up to you at a party and they're like, hey, Brian, I have the first NFT from a Discovery host. Like, are you going to care? Like, that's weird. That's a weird thing.
I would say I didn't even know there were Discovery hosts.
I don't.
That's the first thing I would say.
Yeah.
And then I would say, it's been a long time since I heard about NFTs. Tell me about it again. And then snore.
Exactly.
But no, that's not true. Maybe I have somebody illustrate the saddest Easter story ever. That would be my NFT.
I think that an NFT of the saddest Easter story would be really fucking. I mean, sorry. I just
Cody
dropped
coming
an
out,
F-bomb.
Cody dropping the F-bomb. We haven't done that in a long time. Good for
Wow.
you.
No,
Wow.
because my wife called me and I got distracted. So I shot her a quick note that said I'm doing my thing with Brian, and my filter just turned off.
Dropped it. That's all right. Listen, you're foul mouth. We're going to get canceled now. It's
How are
very
you?
exciting.
How are you, Brian? I haven't talked to you. How are you?
We don't speak unless we're here doing this. Well, I'm nervous, Cody, because the world is ending. I don't know if you know that. If you've been watching the news today, the world is ending. Snow is coming. It's, I think, 187 inches of snow is coming. I had to stop on the way home from school. I stopped to get gas because I bought in a little bit to the hysteria. And I thought, well, if I have to go out over the next couple of days, I want to have gas in the car. Well, I had that same thought must have popped into everybody's head because at Costco, the lines to get gas, and people are stupid now. They're in a panic. So they're even more stupid than they normally are. The Costco it's got to be 8 lanes, 8 double-sided lanes of gas. So 8 lanes of pumps on both sides. They have long hoses, so no matter what side your gas tank is on, you can pull on up and get some gas. It's very convenient, which is why I go to Costco a lot for my gas.
Sure.
Well, there's only one way in to the gas area.
Oh, no.
And these people were stopping, trying to get into the first 2 lanes. Meanwhile, I'm looking past them at the other 6 lanes where there's not as many cars. And I'm like, and this one idiot in a giant white serial killer van, he was gassing up for people who froze and then he could thaw their bodies out and have his way with them. He was blocking the whole way so you couldn't get through. And I wanted to go and try to wedge my car through and just make a scene, but I honked a couple times. And then the people in front of me started honking. And I don't know if they were honking back at me or honking at Joey serial killer up in his van. But finally he moved. So I get my gas. Now I'm jazzed up. I'm ready to go. The car is full. Bring on the winter. I got a new tire last week because one had a nail in it. So I got 4 good tires. I'm ready to roll. Go to Walmart because I got that kind of money to spend. And it's, pre-Snowmageddon. I got to get ready for the winter. Had to pick up a couple things for Debbie. You know how it is having the sugar issue, having the diabetes. She likes to keep stuff in like orange juice or stuff in the house, but she's gotten away from orange juice. She likes little apple juices.
Oh, yeah.
Because one little apple juice, she says, is the perfect size. That'll do it. One little apple juice. And she likes I've gotten her different kinds. She likes the cheap brand from Walmart. She likes the great value little apple juices. Okay. The Walmart brand, it's like $2.69 a 6-pack, but they almost never have them.
Really? Why?
I don't know how many people are drinking this damn orange apple juice, but everybody on the planet, either that or there's an apple shortage or the Walmart, the great value people aren't I don't know what the hell's going on. So I go into Walmart, I grab, a few things I need, and I'm trying to get through because I see the panic on people's faces and I see shelves are empty. It's hell in there. And I go, and of course, the apple juice area is completely empty.
Just barren.
Barren. And I look up, and Cody, you will like this because you are also tall. Sometimes being tall is a blessing. Because I look up above the shelves, and there's a stack of 3 cases. But the apple juice that I need is the top one. So it's all the way up, then 3 more cases high. And I'm like, I got to get that goddamn apple juice.
You climbed up, didn't you?
I tried to climb up on the bottom shelf, but I couldn't get my footing. So I'm on my tiptoes, stretched as far as I can, and I get my fingernail under the very edge of the case of apple juice. And I move it just a little. Then I reposition, and I wiggle it a little more. Now the apple juice carton, the case starts to move toward me a little bit. I'm getting this damn apple juice. And I'm still shaking it, wiggling it. And it comes to the point where I can finally kind of pop it, and it drops down like a baby leaping from a burning building.
Wow.
And I catch this case of apple juice. I immediately rip it open and take the 4 6-packs, put them in my cart, and I skedaddle.
Wow.
So Debbie got her apple juice.
Has she tried other fruit juices?
No, orange was the go-to for a long time, but because it was in like the half-gallon container, sometimes it'd be enough with a little glass. Sometimes you'd need a couple little glasses. So she finds the apple juice, the little individual apple juice, to be the deal.
Does that have anything to do with flavor or just carb amount?
I think she likes apple juice.
Okay.
And she's tried different apple juices. So the flavor of this one is the flavor that she enjoys.
Okay.
Yeah, she likes the flavor, and I get the carbs and the sugars. It gets everything in balance.
Yeah. See, I got burned out on orange juice. Quick insider info for the listener, if you don't know, diabetics, if your blood sugar is low, the fastest way to get it up is to have a fruit or fruit juice.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to do with, this is not like a scientific explanation, but the gist that my endocrinologist gave me.
Listen, don't go all Joe Rogan on me now.
Not going to go Joe Rogan on you, but the gist of it is that your body doesn't need to work as hard to break down those sugars because they're like a natural type of sugar. Whereas processed sugars, like if you have and plus there's not as many other things in it. Like if you have a Hershey's candy bar, there's sugar, but it's kind of processed, but also there's fat in the candy bar, so it takes longer to digest.
Right.
So if you have a Hershey's candy bar with the same amount as a thing of orange juice, the orange juice, it'll shoot you up. Your blood sugar spikes in like 10 minutes tops versus a Hershey could take 30, let's say. I'm just throwing out random numbers. But anyway, so fruit juice is good, but I got burned out on orange juice because it's very acidic, and B, you can't really chug it like if it's late at night, right before bed, and especially like if I just brush my teeth, lay down and ready to go to sleep. Oh, beep, 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 gotta get some carbs. Pounding that orange juice after toothpaste is the worst.
Oh.
So what my new thing is at Jewel, they've got this like it's like an orange peach mango juice.
Ooh.
Where they mix a few, so it's a little bit tropical, but it's not too sweet. But it cuts that orange, and like that for me, that's the ticket. That's the way.
All right, I'll run it by her. Who is it? Oh, Christine says she gets apple juice drink boxes. Apple juice drink boxes. So yeah. Debbie could pretend she's on her field trip.
Wait, is my audio quality horrible?
No, your audio quality sounds fine to me.
Oh, okay. I think Mike was joking.
I think Mike is being a D-canoe. That's right. I turned it on Mike this time. That's how we flip it.
I thought he was joking.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too.
Wait, maybe I should check.
You sound fine. Yeah. So anyway. So I get the apple juice. Now I got to make one more stop. I got to go to Jewel. My God, Jewel was like just forget about it. Like to the point where I had to get some turkey. I didn't even wait at the deli counter because the last couple of times I've been to Jewel to try to get my turkey, they have a lot of people behind the deli counter in deli worker uniforms. They all seem to be ignoring the people standing out, on the other side of the counter. And by the time I got there today, I would have had to have waited for about 15 or 16 people.
Wow.
I don't have time for that. The world is ending. So I scrounge some stuff, and then I start thinking, oh, well, what if we're snowed in and I'm like, we're not going to get snowed in. Even if it's 12 inches. I'll shovel and I'll get out. Plus, we have food in the house. I don't need to start, what am I going to eat for the next week and a half? I don't need to do that. But I was like, well, maybe I'll just get a couple things. So did all that, came home. But now, remember last week, I was very upset because I thought we would get the day off because the next day it was going to be so cold.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't. We had to go in. It was freezing. Most of the kids didn't come in, but, the teachers were there. So that was fantastic. We've already gotten the word, e-learning tomorrow.
Wait, really?
Yes, sir.
All right, hold on. I got to look outside. My mom just texted me and said there's a winter storm warning, and I knew that. I knew.
Well, right now, I just ran right before we did this, I ran to the gas station to get a bag of ice, which seems counterintuitive to a winter storm warning, but it was still about 40. It was still about 40 degrees out. But for those of us old enough to remember, and I don't remember, but I've read the thing, the blizzard of 67, the day before it was like 40 degrees, just like it was today. Now the snow's not so, but you may be to the point where you're on that cusp where you might not get as much. It's not snowing yet. It wasn't supposed to start snowing until about now. But yeah, the state's already been declared a disaster area. We called off because it's supposed to start snowing tonight, snow all through the night, then all through tomorrow into Thursday.
Well, I hope that doesn't happen because I'm supposed to drive my baby to Rockford tomorrow for my parents to watch.
You should leave right now.
And
you should wake that baby up, put him in the car, and leave.
Yeah, well, I was like, I'll keep an eye on the weather and we'll see what happens.
But up there, Rockford, because it's coming from the southwest, this big storm is sweeping across the globe.
Right.
And once you get north of Chicago, it starts to taper off. So you may be okay going to Rockford. It might just be a little snow if you can get out of your driveway.
Right. Yeah, I'll be able to get out of my driveway, I think. Yeah, that's what they're saying. I mean, I'm supposed to fly out Thursday, so we'll see if that happens.
Early or late?
11 a.m.
Yeah, that's not happening. Bring some extra apple, mango, peach, papaya juice to the airport.
I gotta tell you something actually about airport eating.
Well, I know your disdain for airports that don't have a McDonald's.
Oh yeah,
that just smacks of low budget airport to you.
Oh sure. Oh, Rockford's supposed to get an inch. Perfect.
Yeah, but between your house and Rockford, you got to worry about it.
Do you ever write? Well, no, you would never do this. You've never written like a Yelp review, right?
I just did on a hotel that I stayed at last week. Yeah.
Really?
Well, it was it was a like booking.com review. They sent me a thing the next day and I filled it out.
And you actually did you write a thing?
Like I did write a little. Yeah, I wrote a little paragraph.
I decided I don't want to sit over there after.
All right. Where are you going to sit?
I have devices. Oh, there we go. It's in my pocket. Yeah, I decided I didn't. It's too loud for my child over there.
For your baby? Wait, where'd you put him?
Well, he's upstairs, but I don't want to wake him up.
No, don't wake him up. Good Lord.
Yeah, I've got a. What do I have? I might write a review for a McDonald's.
Really?
And I know that sounds ludicrous, but there is a McDonald's in Lombard, right off North Avenue. That is it's actually on North Avenue.
Okay.
It is the fastest McDonald's I have ever been to in my life.
Really?
They are always fast. I can pull up and there can be 3 cars in front of me. And I don't have time to check my text messages before I get to the window.
Whoa.
It is insane. It is like, I don't know how they do it. Like if I order and there's a car in front of me, I pull up, I barely have time to get my wallet out of my pocket. They're already gone. I pull back up. I hand it to him. The food is in my hand.
That's amazing.
And so I bring that up because of the airport, because like as much as I love airport McDonald's, now when we go, because it's right on the way, I just go to that McDonald's 100% of the time because it's way cheaper and it is so fast. Even if we're running a little close for comfort on the flight, if I haven't eaten, I'm like, I'm going to go to this McDonald's. Like I'm just not going to.
Really?
Unbelievable.
Is it? Where is it?
right on North Avenue. It's by North and
is right by your house, right at the
pretty
corner
close.
there?
Yeah, it's by there's like a Target. It's
Oh yeah, no, I know where that is. Okay.
a little bit past Villa Park if you're going
Yeah,
out west. So just after Villa Park, right when you're kind of like entering Lombard in the north part of
got it.
Lombard.
All right.
But it is
I keep that in mind.
it's next level. Next level.
Really?
Yeah.
They'd probably like to hear that.
I'm literally gonna write it, and it's like, who writes a Yelp review for McDonald's? But like, I have to. I feel
You must.
compelled to because of the speed. Unreal.
Maybe then you go on. Maybe then you go on next door, and you just go crazy. You become the guy who loves this McDonald's.
I can do that.
Maybe the word spreads. Suddenly you get some of those 50-cent McDonald gift certificates in your mailbox.
Is there a thing?
It used to be a thing because people would get them. You'd get them for Christmas. You could get a book of 10 for $5, and people put them in their stockings, or some people would throw them in on trick or treat. You'd get a 50-cent McDonald's certificate. You go, oh. Then your parents are like, oh, now we got to go to McDonald's for 50 cents so I can save 50 cents. They would not be happy. But yeah. So are you ready? Are you ready in case the snow is bad in the morning?
I've not prepared anything.
That's cool.
My biggest fear, and what I'm 90% sure is going to happen, is that my nanny will call me and be like, I can't make it out there, because she comes from Brookfield, and apparently, I don't know if it's just her street or if it's the township of Brookfield. I can't make that generalization, but like, they apparently don't do a great job of clearing her road.
All right.
Which is never a problem here, but like the last couple times it snowed, and it's only snowed like a couple inches.
Yeah.
She's been like, we've either been like, well, you don't have to come, or she's been like, I'm going to be like an hour and a half late because we have to clear out the driveway and stuff. So
Wow.
I really hope I don't wake up to a message that's like, I can't come in, because like I literally won't be able to do anything tomorrow. And I don't know how I'm supposed to get the baby packed or do anything. I don't know. I just parenting is
rough, and solo parenting is. You got a whole new appreciation for single parents now, don't you?
I do. I have a whole new appreciation for my wife, because she does a lot of the. I mean, she does the brunt of it because I work more hours at my job.
Right.
So, yeah, and I do what I can. Anytime she's like, "Oh, I want to do yoga. Can you watch them for an hour?" I'm like, "Yes, I'll watch them for an hour."
Yeah.
Like, hour here and there is one thing, but yeah, when it's like all morning and all after nap time, it's like, all right.
Sure. Now she's in sunny Mexico, and you're facing down, death by winter.
She is in sunny Mexico. She went fishing out on a boat in the Gulf today, caught fish, and some of the people on this retreat with her also caught fish, and then they brought it back to shore, and it was prepared for them to eat for dinner.
That sounds lovely.
That sounds a lot better than.
I was going to say, what'd you have for dinner tonight?
Than hunting for apple juice in the top shelf of a Walmart in the middle of a winter storm.
That was, but it's the same thrill of the catch.
That's true.
I could not have been happier when I came home and presented Debbie with these 4 6-packs of apple juice. Suddenly I'm the hero. Who's the provider now? That guy, listen, she could have married some short dude who would have come home and went, I'm sorry, honey, I couldn't get to it. It was very high up. And I don't know why a short dude would sound like that, unless he was Colonel Sanders, and he was a very short Colonel Sanders.
Wow.
But yeah, so she did that. But now tomorrow, I have to be part of e-learning, and I am assisting in one of the kindergarten classes for e-learning. So this is going to be crazy. Because I did kindergarten last year with e-learning, and it was an abomination against the Lord.
Yeah.
Because it's hard enough to teach kindergarten kids when they're sitting in front of you, and when I can stand over them,
Yeah.
But so this is they're trying not to, like, we don't have snow days. Like tomorrow, in the past, tomorrow would have just been a snow day.
Yeah.
But they're trying not to do snow days anymore because they don't want to add days onto the end of the year. So today was hilarious. So today I go to eat lunch. And I'm going to preface this story by saying I love working with the teachers I work with. They're dedicated, bright educators, but sometimes they are funny as hell. And today I was eating lunch because I've been in 4th grade for the last few days. So today I'm eating lunch with some of the second grade teachers and some of the fourth grade, because this is same lunch period. And we're up in this room because we're not really supposed to eat lunch together. So it was very secret, very hush-hush, because you got to stay social distance. So this was kind of, a speakeasy where I had been invited when I started doing this fourth grade class. I had been invited to come into this room for lunch. So I'm very excited to be part of the clique. And every teacher in there was wagering on whether we were going to be in school tomorrow. And some of them were already making their plans to not come in. They had all the criteria down for not coming in. I'll tell you what, if I put it in the GPS and it says my commute's over an hour, I'm not coming in. Well, if I get up and I have to dig my car out, I'm not coming in. And I might not come in on Thursday. And then I said, well, then why would you come in on Friday? They're like, exactly. Why would we come in for Friday? That's dumb. So the whole thing, they were just back and forth. And the amount of planning that they were putting into not coming in tomorrow, because they would still have to do the same plans. They still have to have lesson plans ready for e-learning, even if they were not coming in, somebody would have to. And they just went on and on. And I was leaving, and they were like, all right, we'll see you later. And I said to one of them, I go, I'm talking about this tonight. They're like, what? You're going to talk? Because they still talk about when I told the story of going on the field trip and the kids by the water, that whole thing. So they're like, oh, you should.
That was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. They still, the ones who were there still and heard it on GN still talk about it. They'll still bring it up. They must all be cheering. And these were all young. These were all like younger teachers, like mid to late 20s. And then the older teachers there were a couple teachers who'd been there for a while, in their late 30s, early 40s. And they were like, we're going to be here tomorrow. We're going to be here. And they're like, Noonan, you'll be here tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, I guess if there's school, if it's open, I'm going to be here. So now everybody's very happy because they e-learned. So I don't know what that's going to consist of tomorrow. There's the kindergarten teacher who is going to have 2 rooms of kindergarten because one of the other kindergarten teachers is out after surgery. So I said to the principal, I go, well, whose Zoom room am I supposed to do? Because the teacher you got me down helping is not there. Am I supposed to just open my room and let the kids come in? He's like, no, we're going to move all the 2 kindergarten classes together. So you go in this. So there's going to be like 4 adults in this crazy Zoom room with about 30 kindergarten kids. It should be fun. I probably won't throw myself out the window till noon.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. Crazy. But Debbie's happy because she's had to shovel the last 2 snows. Because I was in school and then I was out of town.
Yeah.
So she had to shovel. She don't like it.
Well, now you can shovel in between shoveling kids into
I could shuttle kids. I could help. I bet it's just been crazy. Just so that I'm happy. I'm happy because everybody. How do I teach kindergarten on Zoom? Well, Mike, I guess you're going to have to tune in later and find out. You give them assignments, and then I think like the older kids, it's easy. 5th grade, you just go, okay, here's your assignments, blah blah blah, and everything's on these apps where you can share the assignments and all that. And then you just go, okay, it's 8:30. Here's your work. Everybody come check back at 10. And the teachers, because of the way these apps are, the teachers can monitor the work in real time. So you can, like, if I give you this, it's one of them is Class Kick and the other one's Seesaw. And so you assign all these things and the kids go in and start. And as they're working, you can pull up their screen and see what they're working on or if they're not working at all. Mm-hmm. And then you go, oh, rats, how you doing? So, but kindergarten, I think a lot of it'll be, we go off into little break rooms and I don't know, I do puppet shows. Look, it's a dog. Oh, Mr. Noonan, you taught us so much. I go, I know. Look, woo! It's my thumb. It'll be fun. That's what we're going to teach. I'm going to tell them, go out in the snow. Hey, kids, you ever seen a yellow snow cone? All right, here's what you do. Run out in the snow, you and your dog.
Don't eat it.
Don't eat yellow snow. Watch out where those huskies go. Don't you eat that yellow snow. It's the Frank Zappa song. It's going to be fun.
Is it really?
Yeah. You've never heard that Frank Zappa song? Don't Eat Yellow Snow?
No, I think I've heard of it. I've probably heard it, but
You probably heard
I have
it.
heard of it now that you mention it. I just hadn't thought of it in a while.
Well, who does? Who thinks of it? Why would I think of it? I don't know. I'm a dope.
We've been
Dope.
listening to
So, all right, you're a big podcast monster. You're a big
yeah.
streaming guy. What'd you think of this? What'd you think of this Neil Young, Joe Rogan kerfuffle that's been going on?
So I think I saw a headline or the subject line of an email, and I didn't look into it. I knew that I know Joe Rogan made comments to NBC News about his show
Well,
or something.
he put out a video the other night. He
That's
like a
right.
9-minute video that he
Yeah.
recorded, and he was like, "Listen, I'm a Neil Young fan. I got nothing against Neil Young, and maybe I can, maybe I can bring people on that have other opinions and get the conversation going. This was never meant to be, He basically went, "Hey, man, I'm a comedian." And I talk about the stuff I want to talk about. It wasn't meant to be medical. It's just lively conversation, but I get it. And so maybe I could try to bring on people with other points of view and take the conversation in different directions and do that kind of stuff. But he didn't
What
seem
did,
mad at anybody.
what did Neil Young say? What
Neil
was the
Young
kerfuffle?
basically said he did not want to be on a platform that promoted so much disinformation regarding COVID. And he said to Spotify, you can have Young or Rogan, but you can't have both. And so Spotify, which paid Joe Rogan $100 million, and
300 million.
huh?
300 million.
Was it 300?
I believe it was.
I thought it was 100. Either way, it
May
was
have
a
been
lot of
100.
it was a lot of millions. But Joe Rogan's podcast gets 11 million listeners an episode. 11 million. That's only about 3 million more than we get every episode.
That was 100 million. You were right. My bad.
I know.
Yeah,
I let you
300.
listen. I let you come at me. Let you
I
come at
was
me like a
fact-checking
fourth
because
grader.
I don't want it to turn into a Joe Rogan podcast.
Huh?
I was just fact checking because I don't want this to turn into a Joe Rogan.
Oh, listen, I'm not Mr. Misinformation here. I am not. So Joni Mitchell left as well. But yeah, I thought, at first I was like, oh man, Neil Young, you can't try to censor somebody else. And then I was thinking, at least Neil Young put his money where his mouth is. He said he makes quite a bit of money on Spotify. Who knows? Whatever. But he left. Then Joni Mitchell left. Weird thing, both of them childhood polio survivors. So maybe that's why they're so gung ho about not having vaccine misinformation. I made the mistake of sticking up for Neil Young a little bit and saying that Joe Rogan had on guests who purported to be experts who were not. I did that the other day in Milwaukee. Ooh, that didn't go over well with some of the yahoos, and I had to snap. And I told, I go, listen, you can disagree with me, but so the texts were all coming in about, basically anti-vaxxers trying to prove that, how do you know these guys are wrong? What do you believe? It's the same. We've talked about it before. The people who believe everybody's lying, everybody, so they can feel special. So everybody's lying. And I was like, I don't want to hear from you. If you're going to call in with your anti-vax garbage, I'm done with you. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to listen to you. And, basically F off. I didn't say that, but
Yeah.
that was the mode.
Yeah. So in terms of what I think, I think that people take certain media and the media environment. I think people take certain things for granted. We all just assume, right? There's just a base assumption that people should be able to jump on a podcast or be interviewed somewhere or throw out a YouTube video or whatever, that it's their thoughts and it's just their thoughts, right?
Right.
The problem with that is that overlooks the basic tenet of human psychology, and there's a very very, very well documented one that a lot of times people will believe and kind of encode in their brains the first thing that they hear.
Right.
That's why a lot of science communicators and psychologists suggest that the best way to really combat conspiracy theories and misinformation is to put out the correct information and get people to consume that as widely as possible, as quickly as possible first. Like, for example, if you didn't know anything about NFTs at all and you never
Right.
like it, and I came on this show last week and I was like, all NFTs are a scam. It's a money laundering thing. Nobody, blah, blah, blah. Then it could be a bunch of BS or whatever. And then
Sure.
you could hear like 15 interviews with people like what I talked about last week, where I was like, no, they're this and this and this. But your brain isn't necessarily going to change its mind. Um, and so there is like even there is inherent damage done by platforming a person who's talking about a public health issue such as
Right.
COVID if you hear them before you hear other people. And a lot of a big problem with a lot of the
Yeah,
just
but I mean, a lot of I'm guessing. I don't know the exact percentage, but I'm guessing a large amount of Joe Rogan's audience was predisposed to believe that line of thinking anyway. And then when he came out and talked about how he battled it, that puts more fuel on the fire or more proof to that side of the argument.
but even if they weren't, though, right, like Alex Jones is kind of insane, I think.
Mm-hmm. Kind of.
If not very completely out of his mind.
Yeah, he's a loon.
And the way he talks about stuff is he talks about things in a way that can convince almost anybody that what he's saying has some truth. Like,
Really? You
really,
think so?
there's a lot of the way he presents things comes off as crackpot if you go into it like with a certain attitude, like knowing this guy is a crackpot.
Yeah.
But if you're suggestible or you have a mistrust of authority, or you don't even have to be a big conspiracy theorist or like a crazy person. Like, he can get you to question certain things that shouldn't be questioned, I think. Like, you really
Okay.
can. If you immerse yourself in that rabbit hole and you go listen to like a 3-hour conversation, like even he can kind of like get people a little off base, right? And that's the issue is that when you have compelling guests that are good at communicating and they come and they say like, what about this and that? If they're good enough at it, they can get even a person who is pro a certain thing to question something a little bit, and not in a good way. Like, I think a lot of things should be questioned. Like, there are conspiracy theories that I support because governments do horrible things all the time and lie about it. This is
Correct.
extremely well documented. You can't argue with that. That's a fact.
No one is arguing with that point.
And yeah, so no, I know you wouldn't, but just anybody watching, listening, So anyway, I don't know. All I'm saying is that like there is inherent damage in
Yes.
platforming a person like that, and I don't know what the solution is.
Well, Spotify speaking of Alex Jones, they pulled an episode of Joe Rogan's podcast that had Alex Jones. They pulled an episode that had a fascist sympathizer on. Now they've decided they're going to put a kind of a warning label or disclaimer on his shows that have medical discussions.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, that's fine, whatever, you can do that. But I don't listen. I've listened to Joe Rogan's podcast. I enjoy it. I got no issue with Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I've always had an issue with people who spread misinformation. Now, some of the argument has become, well, stuff that, 2 years ago when they were saying it was misinformation, now it's kind of proved true. Yeah, but some of it hasn't, and some of the people he has on that he couches as experts in a field, they're not. And so that goes to your point that if you sell someone as an expert and they've got published reports and, peer reviews and blah, 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 and they're saying, the vaccine could actually kill you, or yes, horse dewormer does work and blah, blah, blah. There is damage there. So I don't want Joe Rogan to be pulled off or deplatformed. I like the idea of, if the podcast is focused on medicine, to put, these are opinions. This is not whatever their disclaimer is going to be from Spotify.
Yeah.
So, but I think, if you're if you're a guy like Neil Young or somebody like Joni Mitchell, and you feel like you have to make a stand, the problem was there were people who were going, oh, they're just looking for a little attention. They're not relevant anymore. They're da da da. No, they're people who have built a career and they have a name and a following, and they're putting their money where their mouth is, and they're just saying, we don't want to be where this is, and if you're going to have it, we're going to go, and okay, you know. And both Neil Young came out and said he didn't have a problem with Joe Rogan. This was before Rogan's thing. And Rogan said he didn't have. So I don't know. It was a huge thing. But then other artists were starting to do it. Then there were rumors of different artists that were going to do it. You know, people, oh, Barry Manilow is going to leave. Well, Barry Manilow didn't leave. You know, it was a Barry Manilow. And so it was just a whole crazy thing. But then I get very antsy when you start talking about censorship, you know, and free speech and not free speech, and some free speech is okay, but not all free speech is okay. And drawing the line, it's like, it's a tough road to hoe when it comes to public health. You know, that's like fire in a burning building. You know, that's not free speech that's protected.
When it comes to public health, yeah, that's because I you know, and I also listen to Joe Rogan. I'm listening to an episode right now.
You should be listening to this. You should be focusing on what we're doing right now.
No, I've got headphones on. I'm listening to Joe Rogan right now. I'm not listening.
Who's he talking to? Anybody good?
No idea.
Right.
Somebody,
some Yahoo.
No, but I'm in the middle of one of his podcasts, and yeah, I enjoy him from time to time. And I enjoy Sam Harris's podcast, even though there's a lot of things about that Sam Harris thinks that I vehemently disagree with. But he has great guests, and I think he raises interesting points sometimes. So his argument for the whole free speech thing is because people want Sam Harris to have like Brett Weinstein on his podcast. Brett Weinstein, whatever. So it was Brett Weinstein or Weinstein, whatever. Whoever he is one of the dumbest individuals I've ever heard talk. I feel stupider every time he opens his mouth. He's this like public intellectual that like used to be a professor until he like raised the stink about something, and then like got sick of the campus, so he and his wife left, and now he has this terrible podcast where he just like lies about stuff. He is actually one of the stupidest people I've ever heard talk. He like gets like kind of like grouped in with this like intellectual dark web with like Jordan B. Peterson and like Sam Harris and then like Brett Weinstein and a couple other people. But like Brett Weinstein is legitimately the stupidest person I've ever heard talk. So people want Sam Harris to have him on his podcast because Brett Weinstein has been having basically anti-vaxxers come on and then like, I'm just asking questions, like pull that whole thing. Like, I'm gonna have him on. I'm just asking questions. And Sam Harris had a really compelling argument that he's just like, I understand that I'm just asking questions. Bit works in a lot of different situations, but not in a public health emergency. And when you're introducing doubt into a system where there's an overwhelming consensus among the scientific community globally on how we should prevent and protect and treat this condition and how the vaccines work and their safety and their efficacy. And every government in the world and all the data scientists in the world are essentially coming to the same conclusions. That is not the time to just be asking questions.
Right, you're not just asking questions.
Right, because when you're just asking a question about a public health emergency, you can get somebody killed. You can get their family killed. And it's really bad. You can get people get very sick. So it's really bad. So that's I thought he laid out a good case that goes to your point, right? Like censorship and all that, like, you know, there's, you know, you don't want it to become like a, you know, you've got to take it kind of case by case. And like, I think when it comes
but that part I don't,
what do you think?
You can't take it case by case. It's got to be all or nothing. But that's where I get caught.
I don't mean individual case by case. I mean like topic by topic, more like that. Like,
well, yeah, like okay, all right. So when it comes, yes, I understand where you're, you know, something like this where disinformation and misinformation can actually cost lives. There has to be some oversight, you know, but you know, then I worry that it'll be all right. Well, what if it's speech that we really find disgusting? Well, we still got to let that go. You know, we still got to let Nazis speak, or we still got to let whatever, But yeah, so I've been torn. I've been torn because I don't want to come down on the, well, it's free speech, but let's qualify it. But it is qualified already in some areas.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been flummoxed all week, Cody. I've been batting this back and forth.
Well, Brian, there's this idea that, like, in some thinkers and people, you can quote famous people or whatever, of
I'd
saying,
love
like,
to.
the mark of, like, intelligence is being able to listen to an idea and then not necessarily agree with it or
Right.
something. Or, like, to listen to an idea that to entertain an idea and then not agree with it. Something along those lines, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the problem is that we in America don't really teach critical thinking skills of
No,
people.
that is true.
So like you put a Nazi on a podcast and he talks about killing a group of people. Like, some people aren't smart enough to understand that, like, they should come to their own conclusion that maybe that's a really bad thing. Like, oh,
Yes.
that person had this idea, so it must be good. Like, our society is not great at that whole thing.
Right.
What do you think of that?
I agree. We don't teach critical thinking. There's and it's as simple as people who don't get sarcasm, or so if we can't trust people to get jokes and sarcasm, how do we expect them to discern when it comes to serious topics?
Mm-hmm.
They can't. And everybody's initial reaction is, that makes me uncomfortable, or I don't agree, so get it away from me, or shut it down altogether. And that's the danger. It's just like that Tennessee school board last week that decided they were going to ban a book about the Holocaust. It's a graphic novel called Mouse. It's won a Pulitzer Prize. This book.
Mouse, they banned it?
They banned Mouse because of 7 curse words and one, I guess there's one mouse woman who's naked. So they banned it. And one of the school board members was like, why are we promoting this kind of stuff? Like, who's promoting Nazism? Nobody's promoting the Holocaust. It's teaching history through a way that will engage young readers so they can learn and we can not repeat the horrible atrocities of the past. And it's written by a guy who's interviewing his father who was a Holocaust survivor.
This is insane.
So it is insane, but this is where we're going. We're getting more and more, everything is getting more and more divided. Things are getting further and further apart. And now we think that and they put it under the critical race theory. Well, we can't have books that teach critical race theory. Hold on. Teaching about the horrors of the Holocaust is critical race theory?
No,
who are we being critical of? The Nazis?
No. Context stopped mattering decades. Like, well, it feels like decades ago. Context just stopped mattering, right?
All right.
Like, it's very stupid. Remember the Saturday Night Live sketch where? No, I think maybe it was a South Park. There was an episode of South Park where they renamed the Washington Redskins, and they gave it. No, it was a Colbert. It was Colbert got in trouble. Do you remember? Colbert had a sketch, and I don't remember if it was on the Late Show or if it was when he was doing the Colbert Report. But there was this controversy with. Hold on, Colbert Redskins controversy. He had. He did a sport report on Comedy Central, and he talked about the Washington Redskins name controversy. And so he was like, basically, because Colbert was lampooning like far right wing talk show hosts, right? That was his whole thing. And he basically was just like, the PC police continue to say that the Redskins has an offensive name. And then he's like, well, now I'm gonna give you this. They like, I don't know. They came up with this a bunch of other really offensive names. Yeah. And then like named a character and like made fun of basically like Asian people. Using a similarly like Redskins is offensive to like American Indians. Sure. He used some like basically anti-Asian language to lampoon and satirize and make fun of the Redskins. and make them feel bad and like give another perspective to where people are like, oh, what they're doing to this group of people. Because like many people may not know an American Indian, but most of us know an Asian, right? A person of Asian
Sure.
descent or heritage, right? So it was like making it more relatable, but like immediately like hashtag cancel Colbert started, and people are just like, cancel Colbert. He said anti-Asian things. And it's like, no. He literally was making fun of the Redskins owners and lampooning it by bringing, you know what I mean? Like,
Right. But they don't,
matter.
people always hear what they want to hear.
Yeah, that was from 3 years ago. No, it was from 8 years ago. 8 years ago this happened. So that's when context stopped mattering. But
all right, so 8 years ago, it may have been before that, but you bring up a good example of that timeline. So I would go with you on that. That might work.
No, but I hate that when people are like, "Oh, I'm going to take a thing out of a book or take this out of that or like whatever." It's just it's very annoying.
Yeah, people are dumb. People are
You made
dumb.
me think of something else too.
I don't know. I hope it's something controversial.
No, it's never something controversial.
Damn it! Why not?
I don't controverse.
Why
I
not?
metaverse.
Who isn't going to metaverse? Everybody's going to metaverse soon. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to be metaversing.
Yeah, it's gone. I don't remember.
That's very sad.
Before the Colbert thing, you were talking about things being canceled. You were talking about the school board canceling that thing, which was very
the mouse book. Boy, we got off track.
Yeah, before the mouse
on a
thing.
rant.
Why did you bring up mouse? Why did you bring up the school board?
Censorship and free speech and I don't know.
Yeah, censorship and free speech.
I don't know, man. If you go off on a tangent, you got to bring it back.
Oh man, was I the one on the?
Have you learned nothing from me?
Was it a tangent from another tangent? I'm not sure.
I don't know. It was a jumping. You took something I said as a jumping off point, and you went with it, which was good. It was very interesting and cogent facts. But then you got to bring it back. You got to bring it back around, man. I don't know what to tell you.
No, it's gone forever. Well,
hiding the lead. Dry January is over. I am not drinking. I have. I've decided I'm going to see. I'm going to drink. I will drink again. But it's Tuesday, so I didn't want to. Right now I have water in an Incredible Hulk glass. That's what I'm drinking. Tap water in an Incredible Hulk glass. I thought about it, and I'm trying. Like, this is a weird. Now we're going to delve into some deep psychological garbage. So, like, years ago when I started losing all the weight, I put my willpower to the test, and I succeeded greatly. But then, because of my mental state, I realized I thought once I lost all the weight, my life would change completely. And it didn't really. I mean, some things changed. Not everything changed. Anyway, that led to, putting on some weight again. Well, now I've proven that I can, for at least 31 days, and you know how much I love a beer. I haven't had a beer or a glass of wine, nothing for 31 days. So I'm like, okay, now let's push that and see if I can get back in that mindset for food and everything else to get myself back where I want to be. So we're not drinking yet. I know at least, here's the goal. I make it to February 26th when we're going to be celebrating Mardi Gras here at the house. Then I only have to have 1 or 2 beers and I'm blotto. Nice. I'm a cheap date, very cheap date. But I don't know when I'm not like, I haven't quit drinking. I'm just testing myself willpower wise, And after the first week, it wasn't, it was like, all right, that's just part of the thing. And it's, why it's getting harder? Because I keep scrolling through Instagram and I see all these breweries that I love putting out these beers that sound fantastic. And I'm like, oh man, that would be, and it's not, listen, I opened a bottle of wine 2 days ago for a recipe. I needed some wine for a recipe. So the bottle of wine is on the counter, and I could have had a glass of wine with dinner tonight because I got an e-learning day tomorrow. So I may not even wear pants to work. Who knows? I could be. So that's it. Who what?
Speaking of good beers, I went to Revolution on Sunday.
You did?
Yeah, just to pick up a beer because, actually, I had a couple of friends over, and one of them, we were playing a board game on Sunday, and he was like, "Well, I can't finish the game because I got to catch the train." And I was like, "I'll just drive you in. It's like 30 minutes. What the heck? The baby will get to sightsee a little bit." So,
Nothing like taking the baby to the brewery.
yeah. He sat in the car with the baby while I went to the brewery. He lives like like 2 blocks away from the brewery. But I picked up a 4-pack of VSOR.
Oh yeah, how was it?
I haven't tried it yet.
Oh,
I have a 4-pack, so I was gonna have. If I had one right now, I would literally fall asleep.
Yeah.
But it's these very special old rye whey. It's 15.4%. They were sold out when I got it, but I'll save you one because I have so much beer. I have so much beer.
I do too.
I've had a double barrel toasted Bourbon County Stout in my fridge, ready to drink. I was going to have one with my dad at Christmas. Then we ended up not doing that because we had too much wine.
Okay.
I was going to have one later. I had a couple friends over one time. I was going to split. Like I haven't been able to split it with anybody. So next time I see you, you may luck out. That's the one that like is like $55 retail.
Yeah, that's crazy. That one was rough.
So I mean, you've already tried it, I know, but
yeah, just a wee little sample back in the day.
So, I'd love to bust that open. I was gonna, I got a lot of exciting social events.
I'm looking forward to some of that. I've got a ton of it too, and I've got, Debbie and Molly gave me a new bottle of bourbon for Christmas, and I got the big ice tray, now with the big cube, so I can have a nice.
I gave you some, of course. I gave you some.
Yes, you gave me some bourbon. Well, they gave me bourbon. You gave me Bourbon County. But yeah, so like I said, I'm not done drinking. I can feel that it's helping with the weight already, So now we'll see. But yeah, all of a sudden, because Debbie wasn't drinking either, just cause, and so now all of a sudden we got all this beer in the basement. We have all this wine that we ordered because we were drinking wine like we were Italians, and it's fine. Nothing goes bad. It's all just sitting down there. It's cellared, Cody. That's what I like to say.
Sure,
when I put it in the basement, it's cellared.
Totally cellared.
Speaking of the basement, how's your exercise bike going? How much laundry's on there?
There's no laundry on there. I used it last week. I haven't used it this week because I've been on dad duty.
Yes.
But I got a very intense workout on Thursday. But I can't really talk about it on this podcast.
Okay. That is cryptic.
I carried a bunch of really heavy stuff of very long distance. That's really.
Did you kill someone and have to drag a body? Is your wife really not in Mexico? Oh my God!
None of it was organic matter. No, I was carrying some equipment.
Were you shooting a porn in your basement?
I was helping someone move some equipment out of the city. It was not stolen. But
wow. You threw that in a little too quick.
I can't really. It was all legal. Nothing untoward was happening, but it's kind of confidential. I can tell you off here, but
all right.
Basically,
wow.
I had to carry a bunch of really heavy stuff of very long distance. There was equipment related and production equipment related, and I was sore.
Fascinating.
I was sore for like 3 days. So it didn't fall off the back of a truck.
Sounds like you might have been the guys who hijacked the truck.
No,
and then ran away with it.
I can't.
That's okay. I'm not pushing you to say. You said you can't say. It's just the story is. You can see why our curiosity would be piqued.
No, of course I know. The way I frame that is very strange. Anyway,
Andrew's sitting in a dark room wearing all black. I don't know what's going on with you anymore.
That's technically blue, but there's no light.
Yeah, there's no light.
So I've been telling my parents and every friend that's visited for 9 months, I'm going to get an electrician and we're going to put sconce lights above the fireplace.
Oh, nice.
An electrician is coming over next Wednesday night to actually put sconce lights, or to actually give me an estimate for putting sconce lights over the fireplace. But once he gives me the estimate, he's a local guy. I don't know why I would say no to him. He's got all 5-star reviews. He's like lived in Lombard forever. So I'm just like, you know what? This guy seems decent. Some reviews are like He's well priced. He knows what he's doing. He's
Okay.
probably used to working on older houses because Lombard has a fair number of older houses.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna call it a day, and I will finally get them. And then once they're installed, maybe the lighting in my living room won't suck so bad.
Ah. Well, you guys just sit there watching TV, right?
Yeah.
And when people come over, they're playing spooky board games, so the lighting's probably fine.
Well, we
Or
play
you
board
sit at your
games.
table.
No, yeah, we don't do board games in a coffee table. You gotta hunch over.
All right, listen, I don't cast judgment on your gamesmanship. I don't know.
Have you ever seen a gaming table?
A gaming table? Like I've seen tables that people have if they're going to play poker or something.
Oh, no.
There's actual for gaming, for board games like you play, the fantasy board games or whatever you call them.
Get ready.
What do you call them?
Get ready.
I can't wait.
About wormwood tables and furniture. You ready?
What?
This is not going to be as involved as NFTs last week, but can I
That's
share my
unfortunate. It's going to be exciting. We're going to learn. Yeah, I could share this. This is wormwood tables.
Here we go.
Oh, wormwood, WYRM. Do you have a wormwood gaming table?
Hell no, they're so expensive.
Yeah, but look at those. You got to scroll that up so we can see the little
here we go.
Coaster deals that those guys are putting.
I gotta resize the window. I can't see anything.
Oh my gosh, there's a crank. What's he cranking? What's he cranking?
He's cranking. Look at this. Here we go.
But I don't get what he's cranking.
Boom! Pull out that crank.
Is that a glory hole? What kind of hole is that? What kind of games are you playing at the house? Oh, they crank it out so they can put more leaves in there, or a different top.
No, they're just playing Dixit. You don't need a gaming table for that. This is a terrible video.
Are you upset because of the game or the table?
No, I'm upset because of the table. Yeah. All right. No, come on.
Oh wait, that was a lift mechanism. That jobber with the crank.
You can get these.
Ooh, you got cup holders and wine glass holders.
Component organizers.
Oh, I thought those were chocolates.
Put your dice on. Card shelves.
Wow.
You can pull up array of wood options. The master shelf.
What's the master shelf?
There's a battle mat overlay. So when you pull the leaves off the table, there's an actual battle mat underneath. You can draw on with a dry erase marker. And
what is that? What kind of game is that you'd need a battle mat?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
Yeah. There is an acrylic overlay for whatever kind of map you want to put on there.
Holy
goes
cow.
Right underneath. This really isn't that creative.
I know, but I'm telling you, this is quite. What's one of those things run? What do you got to drop for that?
That was like $1,500, but there's hold on.
Now you need a whole room though for that. That's got to be that. You can't double that as a dining room table, can you?
Oh yeah. Oh
you can.
I have a friend that has one, and he just pulls off the top, and like there's just it's just kind of like a pit underneath it, and you can not a pit, but like it's just recessed, and then you put all the board game stuff down there. I'm gonna look for like there's a different vendor that has like really good board games that's a Gen Con every year, but I can't find them. I don't think it's Wormwood. Maybe it is. I don't know. Let me try one more. Let's try the Rathskellers. Here we go.
The Rathskellers?
Here we go. You can get some here's the Counselor table.
Oh, hold on.
Here we go. Check this out.
This is craziness.
All right.
But I get you have to play games all the time to justify something like this. Don't you?
Look at this. You like pull that off, and then you can like stick all your cards in there, and you get the deal. Now
dude, you got to hit up your dad. I saw the table he made for your son for the Legos. He could whip you up one of these gaming tables.
Oh, he totally could. Here we go. The Hive, the grand hexagonal table.
The grand hexagonal.
I made in Greece or something. Here we go. I don't care about the wood quality. Give me pictures of it. IoT ready. It's Internet of Things ready. I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
There's just I know I'm scrolling really fast. There's a bunch of crap. Give me pictures.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this. I can't read that fast.
All right, they got the Garrison. Let's look at the Garrison. Here we go. It's got a bunch of drawers underneath it. White colored drawers. So you got all that stuff. There's a bunch of simple storage space. Here we go. Look at that. You put the board games underneath. You got like little trays that pop out where you can put your little pieces and stuff. It's an innovative aluminum rail system.
All right, You are looking at this like a lot of guys would look at some sort of pornography. I can tell it's uncomfortable how excited you are about these tables.
What about
Are you
the
planning on
sign?
getting one? Have you run this by your wife?
I am not getting one. They are too expensive. Where's the?
I don't know. You got your basement. You already got your exercise bike down there.
There's this guy using one. Look at
Wow.
that. See, that's what it looks like. Look at how happy those people are.
People
And
look happy. A lot of hipsters looking very happy.
The thing is, Brian, you're always that happy if you're sitting at that table.
Is that
That's
right?
How that works.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what now. What are they playing? Can you identify the games they're playing?
They
Look
were
at them
playing
laughing at their other players.
That last one was Code Names. This game I have not played. It might be Twilight Imperium, but probably not.
Now, let me ask you about these games. Do you have to have been playing, like for video games, you almost have to have been playing your whole life. For these board games, is it the same, or can anybody learn how to play a board game?
Anybody can learn how to play it. It just takes a while. I mean, I got a game with Casey that I played called Gloomhaven, where it took us like 3 hours to figure out the rules. But now we look at that; all the pieces just flew onto the map magically.
Is that magic? The tables are magic too?
The tables are magic. Yeah. Well, you can get them
makes sense.
Encanted by wizards before you order it. So
really, now is that extra, or is that part of the price?
It's extra, but look at this. They're putting pasta on the table and salad and wine, and then they're going to sit down. I bet they're going to eat afterwards.
What do they just flip the top and then things get crazy?
Yeah, what? How does it work? Well, no. What happens is a giant water
just
balloon
exploded on there. Yeah,
yeah, a water balloon falls and explodes in slow motion, and then they wipe it, and then underneath, watch, they're going to remove it, and there'll be a bunch of people. Oh, look at that, dry as a bone.
Wow, that's crazy.
Gloomhaven. That's the game. This right here is the game that I play with Casey, and she and I learned that in about 3 hours. Look at how many pieces there are.
That's insanity.
And they have an app on the side.
An app?
Yeah, that's the character
for
I
the
play.
game.
An app for the game that goes. I don't need an app for the game, but they have it. Yeah, but this is Gloomhaven. It's like very, very intense. It's really fun. We haven't played.
And just the two of you play that?
Yeah, it's up to 4 players.
Seems like a lot of work for 2 people.
It is. Yeah, you can put chargers in these tables. It's great.
Now, do you need a room with some red lights, like another bordello? You're big on the red lights and the red curtains.
Yeah. No, you got to
need
have
that,
red
like
lights.
It was in the video.
You got to preferably red lights, no windows. And if you go to and from places when you buy board games, it should be like a big white windowless van, and you got to make sure
right?
You got to block a Costco gas pump if you're going.
That I was behind some weird gamer. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah,
not a serial killer. He was a weird gamer.
100%.
I'm not a fan now. I'm very upset. Very, very upset. Well, I don't know where you went off on that little tangent, but I enjoyed it. It was scary. It was scary how excited you were about furniture. Oh, you were talking about lighting, and then you said you can't play games on a coffee table.
Yeah,
because you'd be hunched over.
Yeah.
All right. Now, is your basement the kind of room where you could put a gaming table down there?
100%. I might put a gaming table down there.
That would be your man cave. That would be where things get crazy.
You know the giant area rug that you have that I also have?
Correct, yes.
With the squares on it?
I do know it.
When we moved into this house, my wife was like, I'm sick of that rug. We've had it it's been in our only leisure room since we met.
Our only leisure room.
So we just left it rolled
up. What does
up.
that mean, our only leisure room?
Well, in a 1-bedroom apartment, right?
Okay. It was in your living room?
You've got a living room, right?
Okay, yeah.
Well, but I had to say the one leisure room, because if I said in our living room, that might imply there are other rooms where you can relax. But we've only ever had one living room, right?
Okay. All right.
Anyway, she didn't want to roll it out, so it's been in our garage for a year and a half.
Oh no!
And then like a month or two ago, she just put it in the basement, and that's where she put a little extra rocking chair that we had because she had 2 rockers when she gave a birth. So she put one down there, and then that's where I put the exercise bike, and now I've got a little TV down there, so it's like a mini living room setup.
Yeah.
So I could easily put a little table on that, and I could game down there. I don't know why I would, because I've got this floor, but I'll
tell you what, I enjoy a house with a finished basement. I don't know what it is. Well, in our last house, that's where we set up the family room and the TV and everything else.
Oh, great basement.
Yeah, this house, we have a finished basement. It's kind of small, and there's a lot of stuff. But there's an area now where, we had this big, giant braided rug that used to be, when we first bought it, it was for our kitchen or dining room. Then it was in the basement at the last place. And it's down there and it's open, and there's a, chair and a love seat down there. And I said to Debbie the other day, I go, this would be a great, because we've put up a 6-foot folding table down there to do various things. And I'm like, we could put like a poker table or something down here. But we go down there and do the laundry and go to the bathroom to wake up the dogs. But it's down there. It's able to be used. The Wi-Fi works because I've gone down there with my computer, and like when I'm wrapping presents or doing other projects down there, I can put Netflix on. So I know we could run, we could watch stuff and be entertained.
Do you have friends that play poker?
I don't have friends.
Right.
And I'm finding, and that's, it's too late to make friends. So I'm kind of stuck where I am. So no, I don't. I enjoy, I don't know, but it's one of those things that you go, oh, that would be fun. And then you think about it for a minute and you go, there's absolutely no reason for me to get a game table. I don't have anybody to play games with. Like if we play cards or something, we just play at the dining room table. I got Debbie, because we've never had it. I got her Cards Against Humanity. Well, you need more than 2 people to play it.
Yeah.
So I got to get some people. I got to figure out a game thing. I got to get some people to play games. You play games, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not going to come here and play games. I have a lot of booze.
I'll go to your place and play games. What are you talking about?
I bribe people with food and booze. We'll make some of that buffalo chicken dip you like.
Oh my God. Well, then I got to bring my baby because.
Well, then we could send a baby bag home, or we could sit him up. We've got a little Walter's, Walter's cages up here. He could go and sleep in there. There's a lot of nice towels and blankets in there.
Oh, all right.
If the baby needs to sleep. I don't know if he could sleep at a regular people bed, but if not, he could sleep at Walter's house.
Probably Walter's house might be the better.
That'd be good. We could put, if you want, I can get one of those bottles that hang like a gerbil bottle or something.
Yeah.
When you get, I don't think your baby would fit in Walter's house, because Walter, we read the Riot Act the other day, because Walter came to stay for the weekend again, but he had been to the vet, and the vet told him he was fat.
Oh.
But only like 2 pounds. So Molly went on the warpath. You can't give him any treats. You can't give him any food from the table. You can't. I'm like, listen, the amount of time he's over here, I don't think we're the reason. And Debbie's like, no, it's winter. You haven't been going for your long walks, this and that. No, but you guys give him too many treats. I'm like, well, okay, what do you want me to do? And I didn't know. I knew all this, but I didn't say anything. And then we were having dinner, and I tore off the tiniest piece, like, in the Grinch, where Cindy Lou Who gets up, and the Grinch takes the last crumb of food that was even too small for the other Who's mouses. That's the size crumb I gave to Walter. And Molly lost her mind. I told you got seriously. Don't do it. Don't feed him off the table. I'm like, listen, okay. I said, but what are we going to do? He's going to see all the other dogs, and he's going to get upset. He's going to be mad. He's going to think I'm, mean. So we had to start breaking up rice cakes, plain rice cakes, and giving him just a little piece. So like Gidget and Loss of my dogs, they get treats when they come in. Well, Walter wants something. We still gave him a few treats. I don't care. She's like, you're practicing for when you have grandchildren. And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to spoil them too. That's going to be right. If you ever have children and you give them to me for a day, they're going to be spoiled. That's the breaks. I think that's in the grandparent bylaws.
Yeah. So
I will also spoil Walter. And, if he gets a treat here and there, he gets a treat. What am I going to do? Here's the thing. You don't want him to have treats? Pay to board him somewhere. They won't give him any treats. Comes over here. We're going to play with him. He's going to have fun. He's going to wrestle with the other dogs, and he might get a treat. Because now he knows. Now he comes in and he just sits and he stares at me. And he cocks his head on him. He'll just stare and just wait. If I'm in the kitchen, he just waits.
I used to do that at WGN whenever I'd get there.
I know.
Sit there and
well, listen, looking at me and just gazing on me as I, put together the big show, cobble together the BS that we were going to blather about.
Right.
Marta says, if you adjust his regular meals, Walter's food intake should be okay. Walter doesn't eat that much. Walter eats very little. And, I don't know. Man, listen, he's with her 90% of the time. So I don't know what she's giving him over there. Who knows? So she came to pick him up, and I go, we had a little incident. And she's like, what happened? I said, Walter ate a ham.
But she loved that.
She did. She was like, no, he didn't. I go, yeah, an entire 6-pound ham. He ate it right out of the can. Gelatin and all. So we couldn't stop him. Why would you say that? I don't know. Because I'm a jerk. I think it's funny to see you get so wound up because your dog ate an imaginary ham. That's why. I just think it's funny. And I like the visual of Walter opening a canned ham and eating the whole thing. That just things I find amusing. Maybe that's an NFT. Drawing a Walter eating a ham. That would be fun.
Oh, I thought you were going to say things you find amusing. That'd be a lot of NFTs.
Things I find. It'd be a whole series.
Yeah.
Brian V with my doodles. Things I find amusing.
What would the V stand for?
For very entertaining.
Brian, very entertaining.
Brian, very entertaining.
Oh man, there's Roger. Roger, I owe you an email. I didn't have time.
You're just jumping in. Why is Cody in the dark?
I've been watching my child. Just my It doesn't matter. It's temporary.
It doesn't matter. It's none your business.
But yes, I will actually. That's behind on things. Mike said he had pizza and play tested a game at Cards Against Humanity headquarters. That's really awesome. They are from just outside of Chicago. I think they're in Evanston or Skokie. Yeah, because the guy went to hold on. The guy, one of the founders, grew up in Glenview.
Okay.
Because one of my friend Meredith, went to high school with him, and I think it was Glenview. And so I know he's from the suburban area, and I think Cards Against Humanity HQ. I think it's in Evanston, maybe Skokie, but I know it's
Chicago. It's somewhere around
in Chicagoland, right?
I was looking, and I've never played it. I've heard it's very fun. When I went to buy it, I was looking at all these other ones, and it always said buy the original box first. So I bought her the original box. The first game. So I'd start with this one. So I'm dying to play because I know it can be distasteful and rude and shocking. All the things I want in a game.
It's basically inappropriate things. We can play it next time we hang out for sure. 4 players is good.
Well, why not? Yeah, we'll play it. That would be fun.
Yeah. It's super simple. Have you ever played?
Can the baby play?
Baby can probably play. Have you ever played Apples to Apples?
Yes.
It's exactly that, but it's dirty words.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we have a bunch of games in the house. You'd think we were game players. We got all kind of things,
Well, yeah, and I've got a good balance of games. I've got a good catalog of games that are accessible because my wife is not a gamer.
Right.
So I only have a couple. I only have one or maybe two. These are board games that take kind of a while to explain the rules to.
Okay.
And then you play them. But the majority are more accessible, as they would say.
Oh, we like those.
Yeah.
I like that. Brenda thinks you're hilarious.
Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, you're carrying. Well, you are. You're carrying the load. I got nothing to say.
What is that? Never not true. That is.
You are. Well, listen. You're a man in the dark, buying things. Doing some mystery hauling. Who knows what? Could be a dead body. Could be video equipment.
Well, I certainly wasn't hauling lights. That's for sure.
Were you making snuff films in the basement?
No, there were no people involved. Just me.
Just you. No people. Just me.
Yeah, I'll tell you the story next time I see you.
I can't wait because it's now my interest is piqued.
Now I know.
Piqued.
But I certainly was not carrying anything light related. Actually, that's a lie. There is lighting related stuff, but I'm not going to set it up.
All right.
Because my office looks like a tornado hit it.
Now, that's just from you dismantling, or is it the baby who's had his way?
All of it. Dismantling, some stuff came in, some stuff is going out. I've got empty boxes in there. I've got things I'm rearranging. I've got things I'm reorganizing. I've got poles I'm trying to set up to hang.
Now, as you redo it, will you move out of your little nook and take over the whole room because you have
No,
that's a nice big office room.
no. Well, I
No,
mean, the
you're
office it's my office, right? But
right.
I actually wanted. Oh, didn't a co-founder of Cards Against Humanity resign because of some inappropriate behavior? Yeah, I don't remember if it was inappropriate behavior or stuff he said, but
Probably said. Who knows?
he did like step down or step back or something like that.
All
One of the
those
co-founders.
all those big crazy founders. I want to watch. There's a new miniseries coming out about Uber, and stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt as the founder of Uber and how took it huge and then was ousted.
Oh,
Yeah, so that'll be fun. Can't wait to watch that. But yeah, so we'll wait. What were you saying? Oh, the
closet. Yeah, no. It's still
yeah.
gonna be in my closet. But yeah, I'm upgrading some stuff. I need to get a new desk in the next like 2
Ooh,
weeks.
in the
So
next 2 weeks.
yeah, I'm gonna be doing a lot more video calls, and I need like a better video call setup. It's weird because I
Nice.
look out on my windows, which is great. I've got this
Mhm.
nice view in my backyard, and it's all bright. The problem is that doesn't really like I just get so blown out on my camera right now on
Right.
my computer that I'm just like a white ghost.
Maybe you
Uh,
need a nice pop-up green screen.
but it's not about the background; it's about the sunlight hitting me.
Mm.
So I don't know.
Oh yeah, because if you face the window, it's going to wash out your face.
That's
If
the
your
thing.
back is to the window, you're
There is
backlit too much.
there is one camera that I have that does come with software where I can actually adjust the lighting, and the exposure. So with this software, so I could do that, but this is not in
Maybe
this.
you take it down to the basement. You make the dungeon into your studio.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
That'd be horrifying. You have a nice view from your office now.
I
You have a corner office
I
in your
do.
own home. That's nice.
I like being
A lot of
outside.
people work their whole lives don't get a corner office.
I know it's
You've
awesome.
got one.
So I have a shading system, Marta, but the thing is, like, I've got to like walk around my desk to like close some of the blinds, and then I've got other shades. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I will have a better office soon. But Brian, do you do this when you like
No.
if I like when I was little, if I used to like clean my room, what
Yes.
that would entail is just pulling everything out of everything, everything off the shelves, like there's crap on the floor, there's everything is just disaster, so that I could just like tear the whole thing down and then I organize and sort and all that. Is that normal at
Um,
all?
yeah, I think it's good. We did that just minor the other day with a couple cabinets and a couple drawers. It was like everything comes out and only the good stuff comes back. So I think when you're organizing a room, that's fine. And especially if you it sounds like equipment has come and gone, so you need to reconfigure everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to get it. It's almost like moving. You got to pack everything and then look at it and go, all right, here. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's easier to start from scratch
Right.
than it is to, make adjustments. Burn it all down, Cody. That's what I say. The whole house, start from scratch. Take it down to the
Right.
studs.
And with like cabinets and stuff like that, right? Like I've got a bunch of crap in like the entertainment center right under my TV. Like I can't just like, get in there and do. I
No.
gotta like
It's
pull
all
everything
got to
out,
come out.
empty the whole thing, and then figure out if I need any of it, which I
Well, that's the two behind me. Both the one with the shelves and the other one, those have to be completely emptied. And because there's just like the bookshelf one, it's anything just gets thrown in there. If I get a pair of headphones, the box goes in there. I mean, so there's like boxes of old Christmas cards. There's all kind of garbage, and it's like you can't, like you say, you can't just open it and go, all right, this has got to go. No, everything comes out. The place a mess for a couple days, and then it's all better. So I don't know. It sounds like you got a handle on it.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear all these. Man, is there ever going to be the big announcement show?
Yeah,
I like that Roger threw out the word scrim. He wants you to put some scrim over the windows.
I don't want to do that.
He doesn't want to scrim his windows. And yes, Roger, sadly, that is the Mars factory. But now you've told everyone where I live. So, very sad. Yeah, the Mars chocolate factory that's near my house is closing.
Why?
They're moving. They're moving somewhere else.
Venus?
They're consolidating. No, very good joke though.
Thank you.
I don't know. I don't know where I can't remember where it said they're going. They're consolidating operations around the country. And so I will not get to this. Well, I don't get it anyway. But after I don't think it's closing for like 2 years. So everybody's all in a panic. So for 2 years, Debbie and Molly can suck up the smells of Snickers bars. And, I can pray that next year is our year for, the trick or treat side of the road again.
Yeah.
I got to get that. No, Mike, no scrimshaw. We're not, listen, we don't use whale bones. We don't do any carving on endangered species anatomies. That's not going to happen. I do like a good scrimshaw reference. So a lot of people don't make a good scrimshaw reference.
I mean, I might put up a scrim if I do a scrum first, but I don't really have time to do that.
Do you have enough room to have a scrum before you put up the scrim?
No, because I got to scram.
Yeah, of course you do. Because you don't want to get scammed.
No, not at all. And I'm not going to skim over this whole project,
No, you can't skim the scrim.
No, not at all.
No.
Otherwise, I'd just be scum. And
that would. Yeah, I'm out. I'm out. I've used them all.
That was a challenging one. I don't know.
Yes, we've used all the vowels. It's like, wait.
Remember that time I dropped an F-bomb at the start of this podcast for
I do remember that
no
time.
discernible reason?
No, just conversation, casual conversation.
Even mad. It was the most casual F-bomb I think that's ever been dropped on our show.
What I find amazing is that in all the hours that we have spoken on public platforms, that was the first. I think I may have dropped one on this podcast, but you've never. And you've gone on crazy rants, like angry political rants that have
I've
never
dropped an F-bomb on this show.
I don't believe so. No, we're very cognizant of keeping that family-friendly rating. Which I don't know why. I'm doing a show Friday that's supposedly an after-hours adult show. I don't know what that means. I don't know if I have to.
You have to talk about butts.
I might talk about weens. Could talk about weens and. Got to talk about tacos. Got to talk about clams and oysters.
Ween like that, the band?
No, like ween, like my wiener.
Oh, all right. Never heard them called weens, but
I don't think I've ever called them weens.
I mean, if it's an adults only show, you may want to save weens for the under 12 show.
All right.
that might.
Well, I do say that when I'm teaching in preschool. Talk a lot about, hey, don't pull out your ween.
Okay.
They go, what, Mr. Noonan? Your ween. Just a scrum sprint in a time box. Cody's going to find some frim sauce. I don't know what everybody's talking about now.
I don't know what
things have gotten delirious. So next week you're leaving for Mexico. You have You have no fears of traveling. You have no fears of getting locked down. What if God forbid you come down with the cove while you're down in Mexico and you have to stay there for another 2 weeks?
Well, then I'll be on the beach for 2 weeks.
How great would that be? If you're going to Akron for business and you get quarantined, that would suck.
Yeah.
But if you're in Cancun and they go, you can't leave. Now I've heard that if you have to pay, then they move you from your nice room, these resorts. If you have to quarantine, they'll move you from your nice room and put you next to the elevator with no windows. And then they don't let you out of your room, and you're at the whim of the staff when they bring you food. So I've heard horror stories of people who were, they got sick at a resort, they had to quarantine, and then people forgot to bring them food for a day and a half. So keep that in mind. Enjoy your trip.
I would assume there's a phone in the room.
Well, yeah, but you're not their priority.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not at a resort. We're going to be at a small hotel. Just outside of Cancun, technically. So,
like the Bates Motel? El Bates Motel?
Something like that, yeah.
El Batos?
Yeah, I don't know. I hope I don't test positive when I'm there because that would be awkward.
That would be awkward. Pardon me. I know this is awkward. I seem to have caught the COVID.
Yeah. So wait, how long do you have to quarantine then?
I don't know. Now, according to CPS in our school district, it's 5 days.
All right. That's not too bad.
Yeah, and you're vaccine boosted, so you'll be fine.
Can I just sleep on the beach?
That would be great. Yeah, I'm going to quarantine in that cabana over there. Bring me a beer every 20 minutes, until I can't drink anymore. Then bring me a margarita every hour.
Yeah, seriously. I just like,
Just sleep on the beach. Maybe start selling Tic Tacs, walking around to tourists.
Fine with that.
That'd be good.
I don't know. That's honestly my biggest. That's why a lot of people aren't traveling, right? Because they don't want to get. But my Ice Bag John got stuck in Germany.
What?
Yeah, he was in Germany for Christmas with his fiance, and they somebody in their family showed up and had COVID. Basically, they told the people at the hotel where they were staying. The hotel kicked them out. And they were
really?
like, okay, they had to like go somewhere else, and it was this whole like weird thing. And then like once they tested, it was like, oh, your results are positive. Just so you know, you may be contacted by public health officials or the police.
Or the police?
I don't know why they did that. So he ended up staying in Budapest for like 10 days or something like that. And I don't remember the exact circumstances, but he mostly complained a lot because he thought that all of it was stupid. And he was just like, we're not allowed to like do anything. We were treated like non-humans basically. And like, I don't know. Oh, is there a Sybaris Cancun? That'd be pretty rad.
That would be crazy.
You
just spinning in a basket out on the beach?
I'm down.
Are you in the outer space room? Maybe they have a Lord of the Rings room or something like that. Some sort of medieval fantasy room.
Rainforest.
You can dress like a wizard.
Apparently, it's been dropping like 60 degrees at night at Cancun.
That sucks.
Not a fan. Come on.
No, I texted my mom last week because she's still down in Florida. And I said, hey, I hope you're having fun. She texts back, I am, but it's so cold I had to go to Walmart and buy a sweatshirt. Okay. You didn't bring any clothes with you? What'd you think it was going to be? It's January in Florida. So she's very upset, too, that it's been dropping. Did you see the iguanas were dropping out of the trees again in Florida?
No, why?
This was on the news last night because it gets to a certain temperature and they kind of get paralyzed. And then they just fall out of the trees. And they're alive and they thaw them out and they're okay. But iguanas, once their bodies reach a certain point, they're just like, it's too cold. And thwop. And so these giant iguanas are dropping out of the trees like nobody's business.
Wow.
Yeah. So I hope my mom doesn't get hit in the head with an iguana. I've been remembering my dreams lately. And I'm not going to be the guy who talks about his dreams because that's weird. But I don't understand some of them. Like the other night, I was trying to get to Will Ferrell's house on a bicycle, and I ended up part of the way driving, part of the way riding a 3-wheel bicycle that didn't really go anywhere, and I was walking a tiger. So I don't know what that means. I'm not giving you all the details, obviously, but that was weird. And then, but they've been very vivid.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what you used to be a science communicator. What's the science behind vivid dreams?
Clearly, you think Will Ferrell is a tiger and you want to have a 3-way with him.
No, I was being mocked by some women because the little narrow, it was almost like a European street that it went from a road to like a European, very narrow street that dead ended before his address. So then I had to backtrack with my tiger, and it was my tiger and my dog, one of my dogs. And these women mocked me because I didn't know how to get there. And they said, oh, you have to go down this ramp, which turned out to be almost like a blacktop cliff. And they laughed at me. And then in the underground area trying to get to Will Ferrell's house, a maintenance worker saw me and said, is that a tiger? And I said, yes. And he said, I wanted a bear one time. I was like, okay, cool. And then Gidget woke me up in real life. So I don't know if I ever would have made it to Will Ferrell's house because I was going to pitch a show called Scooter Cops. It's about cops on 3-wheeled scooters. This was that. So what does that tell you, science communicator? I don't know what I'm eating before I go to sleep. Nothing good, I guess. What do you make of that? Yeah, I've stumped science.
Well, all right. So who did you run into before you got there?
Just some rando. No, there was. Well, see, if I go into a whole big thing, I ran into a buddy of mine, 2 guys I went to college with, as I was trying to buy a bottle of wine to take to Will Ferrell's house.
Okay.
But then I had to go to a couple places because one place, it was a liquor store. It said liquor on the outside, but they just had sporting goods.
Okay. All right. So the sporting goods store represents Tribune Tower.
Oh, okay.
Your high school friend,
College friends.
your college friend, represents the Democratic National Committee.
Okay. Fascinating.
The three-wheeled scooter cops.
Scooter cops, the pilot for scooter cops. Yeah, I was pitching it.
The scooter cops. They were scooter cops? No, they weren't. What did you say they were? They were
scooter cops. Scooter cops.
They were scooter cops?
Yeah, scooter cops.
Okay. The scooter cops represent people who drive white windowless vans to Costco.
All right.
Yeah.
Weird that I would like have a premonition dream.
Right. Will Ferrell was actually a stand-in for Bernie Sanders.
Okay. Could be because I never saw Will Ferrell.
Well, right. No, I know that, but like conceptually, like,
I see. Okay.
It's yeah. If you read into it,
why wouldn't I want to?
The show you wanted to pitch, it wasn't really a show that you wanted to pitch. You thought you wanted to pitch a show.
Oh, what did I want to do?
What you actually wanted were nuclear launch codes.
Is that right?
Yeah, because you've been duped into thinking that Bernie Sanders has the nuclear launch codes.
Okay.
Because of 1960s propaganda saying that socialism is bad. And because Fox News calls Bernie Sanders a socialist, he must have nuclear launch codes. So it's all like very a lot of
this is
unconscious activity from the 1960s to today.
Okay.
And, you were pretty young in the 1960s, which makes it very weird.
I was. Yeah. Well, I wasn't. I was born in the mid 1960s.
Right. So this is what I'm saying. So you were pretty much barely there, which is why
barely there. That's weird.
It's all very. What's it called when you have memories from when you were like a baby?
Suppressed memories.
It's very suppressed. A lot of suppressed.
Yeah.
Memories.
Okay. All right. This is this is much deeper than I thought. I thought I was just insane. So this is good that there's a meaning behind it.
No, I never said you weren't insane.
Okay. Good. Well, then listen. That's true. You didn't say that.
Right.
Mike says I need booze. No, see, this is what happens when I go to sleep sober. This is what happened. My mind never stops. It's just craziness. Go ahead.
When you do marijuana, when you do the weed, it can suppress people's memories of dreams.
Yeah.
And then like if someone smokes weed for like, let's say a week straight or even a few days straight, the first night that they sleep and they don't smoke, they have super vivid, often very crazy dreams.
Really? Now I have not, I have not touched the devil's weed since my incident.
Yeah, no, I know you're not. It's just like kind of a fun fact.
No, I like fun facts. I like to have fun and I like facts.
Yeah, there was like a week at one point, or whatever in the past. At some point, there'd just be like, I don't know, just like for a week every night, I'd just be like, I'm like a couple hits before bed or something like that. But yeah, and then like the sixth day or whatever, I just wouldn't, and then like I'd wake up the next morning like, what was that?
Well, Debbie and I talked about doing an edible last weekend, and then we didn't do it. So yeah, I don't know what happened. Do you know what tomorrow is? Tomorrow is the anniversary of Roger almost dying on Lakeshore Drive. I see Roger.
Wait, it's Peter's birthday. I didn't realize that they coincided.
It's the Groundhog Day blizzard.
Oh man,
I remember that well because they called me in at GN. They called me in to come in early to cover, and so they actually got me a room at the Embassy Suites. It was fantastic.
Did they?
Yeah. So I can't, because sports night was happening. Or this was 2011. It's not the 5-year, it's the 10-year anniversary. 2011. So we were doing sports night, and they brought me in. We all came in early. They got me a room, and I got downtown just as the snow started to fall. So I went over, we did sports night, we did a couple things, went back to the hotel. Next morning, everything was shut down. Little did I know at that time that Roger had been on the air all night because he had been stuck in his Honda on Lakeshore Drive. We still don't know where he urinated for all that time. I don't know if he was severely dehydrated but I guess you'd have to read about it in The Unplanned Life.
Yeah.
Roger's book. There, Roger, got your little plug in there. So you pick up The Unplanned Life, find out all about that story. So yes. So dun 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 tomorrow. That was horrible. Because that was the other part of the thing that the teachers were talking about. That, they weren't going to get caught in a blizzard like that. Do you remember that the blizzard of 2011? Blah, blah, and I was like, oh yeah. And one teacher's like, I used to work right on the lake on the south side, and took me hours to get home to Beverly. And yeah, so everybody was worried. They didn't want to, they didn't want any of that to happen tomorrow. So that's that. Well, listen, I'm a little disappointed that we didn't get big announcements after being promised big announcements for a couple weeks.
I know.
Maybe in a couple weeks we will get big announcements. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll find out why you were dragging heavy equipment in the middle of the night down to your basement. Maybe we won't. Maybe you'll get stranded in Mexico. Maybe you won't. There's a lot of ifs and ands and pots and pans. So I don't know. It's a very big cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll come back and drop even more F-bombs. Maybe you'll swear in Spanish. Who knows what you'll do? Who knows what will happen? What we do know is we will not be here we won't be here next week. So there won't be a new episode next week. But then there will be more episodes after that. No show next week, Roger. I just said it.
Yeah, I'm going to be in Mexico.
He's going to be Mexicali. So we will, so that's that. I got nothing else tonight. It's time to go. You have a baby that's lurking, waiting to wake up. What time will he wake you up in the morning?
He almost always wakes up like 7:30ish, maybe 8. I woke up at 8:47 this morning.
That's very specific.
I know. Well, because I looked at my clock and I was like, this is very weird. And I heard him, and he was just in his crib just talking.
Really? Just entertaining himself?
Ba 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 ba, just like talking. And I opened the door and kind of peeked in. He was just sitting up, like playing with his hands, just looked at me and smiled. And I was like, okay. Like,
he was very content.
I'm a heavier sleeper than my wife. So now that since she's gone this week, I have been sleeping with my door open. So he wakes me up if he cries.
Yes.
Like nothing, he just was chilling. So I don't know how long he was awake, but maybe I'll get a good night's sleep. But I got a lot of stuff to do tonight yet.
You got things to do.
My trip. So
yeah, you got to get your Speedos packed and your Huarache sandals.
I'm bummed you're teaching tomorrow. I was gonna say if my nanny ends up canceling, you're always welcome to come.
Well, e-learning ends at 1:30. So after 1:30, well, by then it'll be snowed in. Listen, I didn't buy all the groceries and stuff today so I could go out tomorrow. Are you crazy? I'm going to be busy shoveling. The worst part of living in the city is trying to shovel the alley.
Sure.
Because I can't get after last year getting stuck, I'm not getting stuck again. I got to shovel that alley crazy.
Sure.
And I have to yell at the city while I'm doing it because last week when it snowed, the side streets, awful. I cross Harlem Avenue into Elmwood Park. You would have never known it snowed over there. Oh, man. Elmwood Park streets, I don't know if they come out with blow dryers or whatever. It's beautiful. I cross back into the city proper. Forget about it. I'm sliding all over. I'm donutting down the street. I'm getting worried about getting stuck in my alley. I don't need it. So tomorrow I'm not going anywhere.
Last Sunday, not this past one, but the one before that, when we drove back from Rockford in the snow, early in the morning, like whatever, many of the highways were not touched by any plow.
Really?
And that threw us off. Like, we're on 90 and we get closer to the city, and then I'm just like, we're turning off on, I don't know if it was 355 or what, but it was just like you'd think, when it snows, it's like, well, the highways will be clean.
Yeah, you should. The major thoroughfares should be clear.
They were absolutely not. So, and then, when she drove into the city, she said it was fine. But around here, I don't know if it was 355 or what it was, 290, but
those still, those should be, they go, well, we can't, we're going to wait. We don't want to go out too many times but still it's like, no, get it done.
Yeah. I will say that the village of Lombard does a very good job. I don't know about the whole city, but like our street is always excellent.
When I lived in the suburbs, that was always taken care of.
Yeah.
Always. Here in the city, they don't care. Well, plus, to be honest, there's too many cars in this on cities. It doesn't matter. Like I live in a regular city neighborhood, but there's still cars on both sides of the street parked outside because either people don't use their garages or they have multiple cars or whatever. And I said to Debbie, do you want to move your car in the garage? And it's a tight fit where we have both cars in the garage, but they can both get in there. And she's like, no, I can't, I don't like it. I'll leave it out. And since she doesn't have to go to work, she doesn't have to shovel the stairs to go from the bedroom to the dining room to go to work. So she doesn't care if her car's snowed in for a while. She's like, whatever. So I get the garage, but it was disheartening. The man who pays a lot of money to this city, disheartened. Then I got so whatever. It's winter. What are we gonna do? You're gonna be in Mexico.
It's Illinois.
Lollygagging. It is Illinois.
It's Illinois. Illinois infrastructure is not. Illinois is not known for its infrastructure.
I'm looking out the window to see.
The worst part of this state is how much we pay in taxes and how little we get back in terms of
nothing. My street's a nightmare.
Things being taken care of. Sad.
It hasn't started snowing yet. So out my window. I don't care about everywhere. I just look out my window. I worry about my little corner of the world, Cody.
I can't see.
That's all. Right now. So I know we don't have any snow, but I'm confident that the weather monkeys would not lie to me and that the snow is coming. So I'm going to go hunker down.
I'm going to see out that window.
See, no, Roger, I'm friendly with everybody. I don't know who the ward supervisor is. He's not going to he's not going to come and plow my alley. He's not going to put a speed bump on my street. That's how you can tell when people have ins with the city. Somebody on the next block must be having intimate relations with an alderman because their speed bumps are about 3 stories high. It's almost like when in that scene in The Perfect Storm where George Clooney is on the boat and the giant wave is coming up. That's how big the speed bumps are on their street.
I've never seen that movie, but it sounds big.
Well, listen, now you should see it just so you get that reference.
All right.
Go watch the movie. Call me back. I got the reference. It didn't work. That's it.
How do they plow streets with giant speed bumps?
I don't know. I don't know what happens with the bureaucracy. I don't know. I don't know if they're zooming down and then I don't know if when the plow blade hits the speed bump, it's like when you're trying to shovel and your shovel hits a crack in the sidewalk.
Right.
When it bounces back at you, maybe the whole snowplow bounces back. And then the driver just starts swearing.
Yeah, no, God, that sounds awful.
It does sound awful. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm excited to use my snow thrower tomorrow. I love using that.
I am very envious of you and Roger with your snow throwers. I miss having mine. I don't have enough. I don't have enough snow to throw. I mean, I don't have enough area that I need it to cover. So
and right. The last time I used it, my wife was at work or something, and the nanny was whatever. I was home alone with the baby.
You spend a lot of time with the nanny.
Well, I don't spend any time with her. She spends time with my son, and I work in my office. But the last time I was home alone with my son and I had the snow throw, I got him all dressed, got his coat on, his snow pants, his boots. He's like looking all adorable and stuff. And I put him out in the garage.
Looking all adorable.
My wife had the car, so she was gone, and I like busted out. And I just start, I'm portioning it up and down the driveway. And he just stood in the middle of the garage, all in his puffed out little outfit and everything. And I couldn't find his sunglasses, and the sun had come out and it was super bright, bright, white, super like gonna hurt your face. But I found this like pair of adult sunglasses. So I put this pair of adult sunglasses on him and it was a little hat, and he's just standing there. And I went all the way down the driveway, and then I turned around and I looked, and he was just standing there staring at me. And then I go all the way back up, and I go all the way back down, and I come back up, and he's just standing there. He stood in the middle of the garage for 15 minutes.
Just watching.
He had 2 crackers in his hands, and he was just holding one in each hand. And at one point, I did see him slowly move it up to his mouth and bite it while he was watching. But it was like the best thing ever. So, if it's just us tomorrow, I'm just gonna dress him up and stand him in the garage, and hopefully he'll just stare at me the whole time.
Have you pulled him on a sled or anything yet?
No, we don't have a sled.
Oh man.
No, we looked at one place and they were sold out.
Of course, yeah.
But we'll get one. Of course, we'll get one. He's
still young. He's got a lot of sledding years left.
Yeah,
he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Got a lot to do.
I hadn't thought of pulling him on one, right? Because part of it's like, well, what do you get? He's not going to go sled by himself, but yeah, you
Right.
pull him.
You
I didn't
pull him.
think of
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Pull him around. Whee! And then he falls out.
We got
Woo!
the red wagon, the Red Rider wagon thing.
Oh, I thought you meant a Red Ryder BB gun.
No, is it what is it?
Radio Flyer.
Radio Flyer.
Radio
right.
Flyer. Which is right near me too. The big Radio Flyer plant, and there's a giant wagon out in front of it. Huge wagon. There you go. What do you think of that?
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Debbie just texted me to say it is snowing.
Who texted you?
My wife.
Oh.
From the other wing of the house.
I don't know where my phone is, so I can't.
I don't
check.
think she would have texted you.
Did she text me?
No, I hope not. I don't know why she'd be texting you about the snow. She must have heard me say it wasn't snowing. So that's her passive aggressive way of telling me I'm stupid by texting me going, yeah, it is snowing.
No, I'm texting you right now. Why? No, I'm just kidding. And I got a message from.
I'm sure you guys have a lot of text chains like, what the hell's the matter with him? And you both go, I don't know.
No, I got a message from my wife. She's like, I'm in Mexico. What are you doing? And I'm like, not being in Mexico
Yeah,
yet?
not being in Mexico. Getting ready to snow below. Let the kid eat crackers and watch me do housework. All right, well, listen, let's plug a few things. I'll be on WTMJ again on Saturday. I was on last Friday and Saturday. I'm on Saturday and next Wednesday, so a lot of WTMJ. You can check that out. I will be performing stand-up comedy this weekend, or Friday. It was just Friday. It's at the Laughing Academy in Glenview, so you can check that out. I've posted something on the Facebook page, and so you can get all the details there of that gig. Cody, what do you want to plug? That you're going to be in Mexico. You're looking forward to going to Mexico. You are going to once again tell us that there will be many big announcements, and then we will all wait with bated breath to find out that there is nothing happening.
Nothing at all.
Nothing happening. All right. Well, that's probably not true, but I get it. All right. Well, listen, have a wonderful trip. Don't get sunburned.
Thank you.
Or do get sunburned and get really drunk. Get really drunk and sunburned. That'll be fun.
I can do those things.
I think, please do them for me. Let me live vicariously through your trip to Mexico.
Always.
All right. Thank you. And, have a gordita. I don't think that's really Mexican.
Not that Mexican.
Probably not. All right. Well, have a good time. Have a lot of fun. We will talk to you when you get back. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a little surprise next week, but Cody won't be here. That won't be a surprise. He will be back in 2 weeks. Thank you, as always, for downloading and listening and doing whatever. Please follow and share and tell people and make us huge podcast stars so Spotify will want to give us $100 million.
Ooh, there you go.
Or they can give us a quarter of that. We'll be happy.
Yeah.
We'd take a quarter of Joe Rogan's.
Let's say half.
Yeah, half. All right, half. Yeah, because then we got to split it.
A quarter.
50 is an easier number to split than 25. Each. Yeah, quarter each. All right. Well, either way, have a great week. We'll talk to you again later. And that's all for me.
And I'll turn lights on next time. Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe. All right. You got to say it. You always end with the same thing.
Bye.